Did the call connect? No. It seems to have trouble connecting. Why not try the holographic mail terminal over there? I'll give it a try, thanks. Alright then, I'll go on ahead. Let's see. There's something I need you to pass on to Melis. She asked for information the other day about the lost data from the nursing plant incident. I don't have much, but here's what I found. I think it's tied to the production of thyroxine. Even if you're not familiar with thyroxine, just know it refers to thyroid hormones. Those hormones typically help regulate metabolism. They're also vital for the development of a fetal brain. When Voyager gathered endorphins, he also extracted and analyzed data from the embryo brains. It's highly likely that data was used to extend his lifespan. If that's the case, doesn't that make it highly probable that the owner of the tissue sample is Voyager? Alright then, please let Melis know. Jan, I'm heading to the pilgrimage meeting. If anything happens, contact me there. I know you might not approve of my participation, but I need to understand what the Zohar truly is. It might prove useful for your investigation. Stay safe, Captain. That should do it. Dr. Rosas! I identified the tissue sample you asked about this morning. I'll just leave the findings here for you, alright? Thank you. Sorry for the trouble. It's no big deal. By the way, what exactly is it? This tissue sample. I've never seen anything quite like it. What is it exactly? Maybe a monster. A monster? Just kidding. Ha ha! Well, I guess I'll be heading home now. You've been working all night a lot lately, haven't you? You really should head home soon. What about your son, who's all alone there? It's not pleasant when you put it like that. You're right. I'll leave once I've wrapped things up. Alright then, have a good night, Doctor. Thanks, and good job today. Whew! Alright, it's finally time to face the monster. This can't be right. How is Melis doing? I think she's much calmer now. She was really close to Mikhail, after all, so I'm not sure it was a huge shock. I see. What's wrong? Don't you think something seems off about all this? You mean something about Mikhail? We assume that Mikhail was attacked because he discovered Voyager's true identity. But if that is true, why didn't Voyager get in our way before we could reach Mikhail? Maybe it had something to do with Mikhail, given Voyager's abilities. There would have been any need to resort to using a gun. Are you saying you don't trust Mikhail? I'm not sure, but you've let yourself get very emotional over the deaths of your subordinate and boss. What did you just say? You're supposed to focus only on numbers and strategies. Isn't that what Chief McCallum always said? You're right.
The success shall pour out his fire upon the Planetary fighters, and the water thereof overstraight up. so that the will of the kings from the east might be fulfilled.
Just a small prayer for Mikhail.
Your taste in prayers is awful. That almost sounds like something Voyager would say.
Voyager? Maybe he's saying prayers too, in his own way.
Prayers? Voyager's just a killer.
Yes, that's true. Anyway, I should get some rest.
Yes, you're right. This isn't over yet. Make sure to save your strength.
The pilgrimage meeting is tomorrow, after all.
An email. It's from Sharon.
Did you get the email safely? I've just received the results of the tissue sample analysis. We collected the sample on the day of the Goodwill and Bastard incident. The owner of the tissue is... Eric Weber.
What the hell?
What's wrong?
Where's Eric?
I just passed him on my way in. He said he'd be right back. What's wrong with him?
It's him. Eric is... That bastard is Voyager! Since Julius ascended the papal throne, his weakness has driven our immigrant fleet down a relentless path of decline and ruin. The tide of decay knows bounds. Even now, the infidels of the Galaxy Federation continue their schemes without understanding their place. And at this moment, they're plotting to seize the power of the Zohar that lies dormant in the sacred land of Abraxas. But we have nothing to fear, for the Zohar will forever remain with us.
The Zohar. For some reason, it feels like a long time ago. I've seen that light before.
Eric. No. Voyager.
It seems he just dived. If only Mikhail were here right now. Bugs, is there any way to force Eric to log out? I'm trying right now, but the dive module keeps rejecting my access. And it seems like the logout settings weren't even configured before he dived.
Are you saying he'd never planned to come back? Why?
Captain, this Aleph bet.
What is this? Does it match the writing left on the other victims?
Not only that, the numbers might suggest 2 more.
You mean 2 more crime attempts? And the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. The other passage reads, And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice of the temple of heaven, from the throne, saying, It is done.
It is done? Eric never planned to log out again. Could he already have committed 2 more crimes we don't know about?
Let's hope not. Maybe it's a warning of his intent to kill again inside the UMN. Eric's physical condition is starting to break down. Once it progresses, it'll be too late. Prepare for an emergency dive now. Our mission is to apprehend Voyager. No. I mean Eric. My vision. It's completely blurry. Is this because of the residual drugs left in his system?
I think so. If we linger in this virtual space for far too long, it could start affecting our limbic system and even our prefrontal cortex. Over there! What is that?
He trapped the souls of everyone he killed right here in this place? What a twisted, sick hobby. Bugs! I'm relying on you to secure our escape route. Bugs, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, but not yet. Have we... We haven't confirmed yet that Eric is Voyager, right?
Bugs, now that Mikhail's gone, we don't have an external operator to support us. You're the only one we can depend on.
Bugs, before I might have thought the same way you do, but he's no longer the Eric you once knew. Please help us, for the Eric you once loved. I understand. I'll expand my forward sensors and secure an escape route. You can do this, Bugs.
Lactus. Yes, Captain? Run a check on Bugs' self-diagnostic program, but don't let him notice. Focus especially on whether Voyager's consciousness is interfering with the emotional circuits. Bugs was serviced by Eric after all. It's possible he tampered with it or made some modifications. Understood.
Hey guys, Luxker here. Welcome back to Xenosaga Pied Piper fan recreation. We are now in a very strange world inside the UMN with walls having faces all around it. It's just really unsettling. There's really nothing here in this room with dead fetuses, no hidden chests or anything, but man, it's all just so sad. Just so sad that our once good friend was actually the perpetrator all along. Gotta revive L from that. Right here we got some new enemies, and oh boy, they're very quick, so make sure you go up to that barrel really quickly here. But here, let's go ahead and fight these new enemies right here. These are Algoys. These are new enemies exclusive to the fan recreation, and they weren't found in the OG version either. When you confiscate them, they drop a white fragment, so in case you want to, if you're kind of low on money and need more, and just need more stuff in general, confiscating white fragments from them is really a good idea here. Let's go ahead and take care of these guys. These guys are pretty simple in general. However, they have pretty high agility, though, so you want to be extra careful about that. So, take them out with... Oh, that one didn't die from special attack, so let's just do that. There. So we got a lot of white fragments from that fight. But man, this is such a really unsettling place in general. You would think that, like, out of everything that was in, his whole mind, it would be that right there. Did I use my last... Yeah, I used my last cleanser. Luckily, Lactus is pretty useful with having, using Refresh here, so it's good to be able to use that. Yeah, so basically, yeah, this is another maze right here, even though it is a very unsettling maze. It kind of reminds me of something from Doom at the end of the day. We want to have Jan out here and just be able to move around and stuff. Right here is segment address 1 right here. In it contains a Gnosis Nail. And right here is Jan's ultimate weapon. It increases his strength and ether attack, but lowers his physical vitality. So, let's go ahead and continue onwards around here. A lot of treasures, just a whole ton of stuff right here. Alright, let's talk about these Narayas right here.
They're very weak to fire, so to counteract the Algoy's weakness to ice right here, which they're immune to fire as well on top of that. These guys are resistant to ice, so basically playing with fire and ice. But if we confiscate these Narayas, they drop a ruby, so it's good to know in general. Oh gosh, yeah, that's why these Algoys are kind of difficult, is because they can just poison you on a whim. It's not fun to deal with. Love bugs. I really want to take out these Algoys. These guys are really nasty creatures. Man, almost close to beating them. I'm gonna use Blizzard right here because, using a fire move, like, right now is not gonna be a good option. Yawn, okay. Okay, so this guy goes next here, so I'm gonna go ahead and penetrate. Lactus, I am gonna Phoenix Strike this Algoy here. And, alright, it's gonna attack Melis. Let's go ahead and BX you. These guys have pretty paper-weak defense at the end of the day. Alright. And that should be it right there. And we are victorious! And we are level 27! We learned light, and Bugs has learned lightning too now, so another really powerful attack right here. While we go through this maze, let's go ahead and talk about Mikhail. There really isn't much known about him or his origins, besides himself working for the Federation Special Ops before Jan joined up. He was capable of understanding the functions of the UMN. Oh, right, here's the Rejuvenator DX. Such as being able to set digital traps in virtual space. However, despite him being a big subordinate with Eric, who we now have learned is Voyager, it's really not known why Mikhail didn't catch on that Eric was Voyager in the first place, knowing how suspicious he is with the endorphin syringes that keep him in the real number domain. It was because he didn't realize he was brainjacked by Voyager that the imaginary domain exists, and now Eric was able to subdue Voyager after all, despite Mikhail's suspicions at first. He also had a deep fondness of Melis, and even asked her to go on a date. It's only said that Mikhail left a deep impression on Melis because of his unique experience with the UMN, and how Melis someday will be a UMN operator. And now Melis is not very likely to live that dream with Mikhail gone. Alright, so after fighting that guy, let's go ahead and go up here, and we obtain a voltage. This equipment we could have gotten earlier if you happen to look through things, but it's just a basic attack stat increase right here. I'm going to give this to Lactus, because having that on him to do more Jackal damage is just really nice at the end of the day. Alright, so if we stop tripping on traps, jeez, we're just tripping on traps all the time. That right there is a weapon for bugs that is no longer important to us. Oh crap. Alright, let's go ahead and heal here. We're poisoned right now. That taken care of. And we have a few more things right here. I think there's like a hidden item back there. Please don't throw me at me, thank you. And would you know it, there is a hidden item which contains a biosphere. We have a lot of biospheres, but I don't know how super important they are right at this moment. Alright, I think that's all the hidden chests in this area. There's no way to get around these traps, so we're gonna have to cross them temporarily. But yeah. While we get through this first maze, let's go ahead and continue forward.
Thank you for coming.
Eric? Eric, why are you here?
I've been... Yes, I think I've been waiting here for some time.
To ensure you learn the truth. The truth? Voyager? No. Eric, There's something I need to ask you.
I understand. Captain, I know exactly what you want to ask me. You want to know if I'm really Voyager, don't you? That's a difficult question to answer. Honestly, even I'm a bit unsure, but what I do know is that Voyager exists. And with that being the case, there's no denying that I am Voyager. Still, the person you remember might not be the same as the one I've become.
What are you saying?
It seems I need to explain how Voyager came to be. Captain, you already know I have a cognitive brain disorder, didn't you? That's right. I've suffered from a prefrontal cortex disorder since childhood. I compensated for it by building a working memory system within the UMN.
Consciousness, an infinite sea of interconnected networks. Information surging through the mind like an unrelenting torrent.
It gleamed with the brilliance of a jewel. Before I realized it, I had become a prisoner trapped by information. Captain, do you know what happens to those who absorb too much information?
Looking at you now, I'd say I have a pretty good idea. You've become a net addict.
That's a rather harsh judgment, but not entirely inaccurate. I've lost the restraints that once kept my thirst for information under control. The unbounded curiosity of mine grew exponentially and led me to uncover that existence.
That existence? What exactly did you discover?
Hoodoo? It all began with something seemingly trivial, driven by an unsatiable curiosity. I hacked into the UMN root data.
You mean you broke into the UMN's core structure? That's reckless.
Exactly. Even I knew how reckless it was. But I did it anyway. That place is a Pandora's box that humans were never meant to open. Every passing second, its structure evolved. I kept diving into it repeatedly, day and night, desperate to analyze it, until I could no longer even recognize my own sense of self. There was something far beyond that structure, something waiting in the distance. I realized it was something akin to the end of the world.
Was that what you call Udu? Did you manage to capture it?
Of course not. Nothing could possibly capture Udu. It is the end of the world in the most literal sense. By recognizing Udu for what it is, I was certain. I came to understand that the true nature of Udu lies in the overwhelming flood of negative information flowing through the UMN. It's likely difficult for you to truly understand unless you too become a net addict like me. I was perpetually haunted by the visions that Udu showed me.
An unseen entity hid in the deepest recesses of the UMN root structure. But for those living in those everyday lives, it's nothing more than an empty void passing by them unnoticed. Does that mean you've seen its true nature?
Yes, I have.
And because of that, I was terrified. The UMN, the world that encompasses our existence. No, the UMN is simply a network system which functions by utilizing the laws that govern the existence of the universe itself. What would you do if part of that system contained something that represented the very end of the world, Captain? The end of the world? That's exactly what Udo is. I had no choice but to decide. Should I stand idly by in a world destined to vanish someday? Or should I become the one who brings forth new possibilities to this world? It didn't take long for me to decide. I chose to be Udu's terminal, its eyes and ears. I tried desperately to escape from the visions of death I witnessed at the world's end. Voyager is a navigator of the net, someone contracted with Udu. They are bound to Udu. And Udu gave me the chance to meet someone significant. Dmitry Yuriev. As sharp as ever I see. Yuriev is indeed the first Voyager. He too was deeply terrified of the end of the world revealed by Udu. No, on second thought, maybe it's not the end, but the beginning of the world instead. What are you even saying? Isn't the UMN supposed to be a beacon of hope for humanity? It's not true. Eric, tell me it's not true. Bugs, what I'm doing is all for salvation. By becoming Voyager, I'm making sure that people are spared from ever facing the fear of their own end. Please, try to understand. We now know what Voyager is after. It's not about power of substance. It's about reaching to find what Udu was, as Dmitry Yuriev was first saw in the past. Next time on Xenosaga Pied Piper fan recreation, we will pursue Voyager. Until next time, see you on the other side!